Hello and welcome back to another AP 3 video. In today's video, we'll be going over AP Government. We're going to go over Unit 2. And we're going to review Unit 2 on Judicial Branch. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the structure of the court system. And we have three. We have U.S. District Courts, and they have original jurisdiction, and they have the right to hear a case for the first time. The second is the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, and we have 12. And then, in the U.S. District Courts, we have 94. And in U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, it's the appellate jurisdiction. Here's appeals from the lower courts. And we have Supreme Court, and we have one. It has both original and appellate jurisdiction. And it also depends on the kind of case being heard. And it's only once mentioned in Article 3, which is the Supreme Court. And other courts are created by Congress in the Judiciary Act of 1789. Now we're going to talk a little bit about Federalist 78. So Hamilton argued that the independence of the judicial branch acted as a protection for its power. He also argued for like-type appointment, basically meaning that when a president appoints a judge, they have their whole life to be a supreme judge. And court has the right of judicial review. Now, judicial review, courts ruled depending laws, or the courts rule declaring laws constitutional or unconstitutional. That's what judicial review means, and gives them the power to check other branches. So judicial review gives the power to courts to rule laws constitutional or constitutional. It gives them powers to check the other branches. And it comes from Marbury versus Madison, which basically the court ruled that in this case, it was in this case that introduced and displayed the power of judicial review in the Supreme Court's purview. It also increased the power of the Supreme Court as well. So remember, Marbury versus Madison, this is where it introduced or displayed judicial review. Okay, let's go over now how the court works. So as they're considering their cases, the role of the presidents is of extreme importance. Now, when decisions handed down, it creates a precedent. Now, unless there are very extreme circumstances, this decision will act as a binding template for future decisions. They're hard to overturn because of a principle the court has created called stare decisis, basically let decisions stand. So if they receive a case on a topic that has already been decided, it will often rule in the same outcome, although precedents can be overturned as it was. And Supreme Court are less bound to precedents than the lower courts, and precedents still serve to guide present decision in a very important way. And when it comes to upholding and overturning precedents, the court's activity falls under two headings. So we have judicial activism, which is basically the court acts to establish policy and considers more than just the constitutional of a decision. It considers the decision's border effects on society. And we have judicial restraint. A law should only be struck down if it violates the actual written word of the Constitution. Basically, the ideology of the judges also plays a role in how the court makes his decisions. So as the courts has exercised its power of judicial review, it has often led certain groups of Americans questioning the legitimacy of the court's power. Now, when the courts hands down a decision, it effectively becomes the law of the land. There's ways the branches can reduce the impact of these decisions. The president can appoint new judge as opportunity rises. President can also lack enforcement, and Congress can also check the power of the judicial branch, and they do this through legislation. And this is everything that we need to know for Judicial Branch on AP GOV Unit 2. This is another AP 3 video. Thank you for watching.